Hello everybody, I'm back. Today I am filming a book recommendation list. I have a little bit of everything genre-wise. I've got some fantasy, some kind of sci-fi-ish stuff, some contemporary, some romance. It's pretty much all in there, so got a lot of books to go over today, so let's go ahead and get in it. The first book I am recommending is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This book is about Rachel. She is visiting Singapore to visit her boyfriend's family, but she doesn't realize that Nick is one of the most eligible bachelors in China ever. His family is mega rich, super high in society, and super traditional, so she's trying to meet all his family, fit in with them, and make a good impression on his mother, who believes that Rachel is not the girl for him. This book was amazing. I really liked it because there was so much drama and in it, super fun conversations in between each of the characters. The characters were so cute and exciting to read about, and yeah, it's a short summer read. It is also being turned into a movie. I believe by the time this video comes out, it will already be out, so read the book and go see the movie, I guess. Yeah, so that's book number one. But the second book I'm recommending is The Last Namasara by Kristen Ciccarelli. I got this book in a Fairy Loot book box almost an entire year ago, so that's why it doesn't look like the traditional cover with the gold sparkles. It's got silver. So this book is about Asha. She is a dragon slayer, and she slays dragons to atone for the wicked deed she did as a child. She almost destroyed the city and herself, and she got left with a big scar. So that is why she slays dragons nowadays, to try to atone for that sin. But being a dragon slayer is a really lonely and kind of like a short lifespan, because you're probably gonna die eventually. But anyways, her king is forcing her to marry the cruel commander of his armies, and as the wedding day approaches, Asha just really longs for her freedom. Her father, the king, eventually does offer her a way out. If she brings him the deadliest dragon in this world to him before the wedding, he will not force her to marry the commander. So she goes after this dragon, and the only person that is standing in her way is this defiant slave boy. So obviously they have a connection and they end up working together, and she realizes that there's a lot more to this dragon slaying business and these dragons and more secrets in her kingdom than she ever thought. This was so amazing. I can't wait for the second book to come out. It comes out sometime this year, I believe. If you guys want to see what else I thought about this book, I do have a Goodreads page. It's listed under Ginny465, and I will link the review down below. Swapping from some epic fantasy to go for some more fun contemporary summer vibes. My third book I'm recommending is Love, Life, and the Wit List by Cassie West. This book is about Abby Turner, who applies to be put in this art show, but the gallery owner rejects her because her art does not have enough heart. So over the summer, she creates this list of all these different activities and adventure that will hopefully give her a little more heart so she can put it into her art. Some of the things on this list are fall in love, listen to a stranger's story, watch the sunrise, try something new. It's all this list of things that she goes on this adventure to complete during the summer with her best friend Cooper. Abby Turner, who has unrequited love for her best friend. She goes on this adventure to finish her list, complete it, and create more art pieces to hopefully show the gallery owner so he will accept her art into the gallery. But it was an amazing book. I loved hearing about all her adventures with each of the things, if she ever does get to be with Cooper at the end, and all the little daily struggles of life, and how sometimes if you want to change your art, you have to be willing to change first. So it was an amazing book about self-discovery and trying things for the first time and putting yourself out there, and I really enjoyed it, and I really hope you guys read it because this one was amazing. Super awesome. Next book is Cure to the Common Universe by Kristen McKay Haydicker. I read this book because Haley in Bookland actually recommended it a long time ago in one of her videos. I decided to pick it up. It's such a short read, Plus the cover is really unique and it really gives me some vibes of like, I don't know, like kind of like Tokyo with all the different things that are happening and the huge naked person right there. This book is about Jackson, who is addicted to video games. And I'm talking like really addicted, like no hygiene, out of weight, super pale because he doesn't go out in the sun. He's a video gamer. He stays inside and plays games all day. But basically, his parents end up sending him to a video game rehab right after he meets this amazing girl who he never thought he would meet, but he can't blast, slash, or fight his way through armies and galaxies to get to this girl. He has to learn real life skills in order to be released from this rehab. Along the way, he meets a lot of other interesting characters who are also struggling with video game addiction, and he realizes that there might be a little bit more than just video games that are standing in the way from him going back to town and meeting this girl. This book is amazing. You have to read it. This book was amazing. The writing was phenomenal. The dialogue in between different characters was so amazing. I highly recommend that everybody should read this book. There's a little bit of everything in here. We've got video games, a little bit of romance, some mental health. I believe it's just the perfect read for everybody and everybody can learn something from it. So I hope you guys pick up a copy from like your library, bookstore, somewhere and give it a read. We're back to like more fantasy. Is The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd Jones. This book was amazing. I read it last October because it was like the perfect spooky read. In this world, there are lots of demons where you can make deals with them and you can get just about anything you wish. You can wish for a new job, more money, to fall in love, but normal demons, they trade in body parts. So if you want to fall in love, you need to give them your arm, maybe, or maybe a leg. But in this particular story, Dee meets a demon who only trades in hearts. So for Dee to escape her horrible home life and head to this private school where she can get away from her crazy parents, she ends up trading her heart to this demon. It's all about the adventures that happen afterwards. And the world is kind of turned upside down on its head. She meets this boy named James Lancer, who's a fellow heartless, and he is pretty much the only thing keeping her grounded. And she starts to have feelings for him, and she wonders, can I give him my heart when I don't actually have a heart? So this story was amazing. It's all about finding your heart, outwitting demons, and everything that goes along with it. It was a fantastic adventure book. I loved reading it. The only sad part was like that it ended too soon. Like, it's such a short book, but it was amazing. I highly recommend that you guys pick up a copy in October so you can really get those spooky vibes going. I think you will absolutely love it if you like mystery and romance and intrigue. So read it. It is so good. Boom! The Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. So this book is about this world where fairies exist, but they are kind of like your more traditional fairies of they're sneaky and cunning and they like to make deals, and you have to be especially careful about making deals with them because the wording is everything. The main characters in this book are Isabel and Rook. Isabel is a mortal who has the ability to create these fantastic, super realistic portraits of people, and she is one of the main painters that all the fae go to. They ask for her portraits, they want realistic things, because the fae can't create art themselves. They have to go to artists from the mortal world, and she's one of them. She ends up meeting the Autumn Prince Rook, who asks for his portrait, but she makes a fatal mistake. She ends up painting mortal sorrow in his portrait, and it endangers her life, and it shows that Rook might have a weakness. Rook, being furious, he whisks Isabella off to the fairy world in order for her to explain herself and deal with these consequences that she created. Along the way, they find adventure, they start getting a little romance going, but how can a fae and mortal be in love? How? It's illegal for one, and with their lifespans, it will never work out. But it's all about their journey to the fairy courts and how they have to rely on each other and they learn about each other. This book was awesome. I really enjoyed it. It's a super quick read, so if you're just looking for something short, sweet, but with a little bit of romance and fairy magic in it, this is your book. Plus, I mean, look at this. That is a beautiful cover. Seriously, gorgeous. My next book, I'm so excited for this one. This is Warcross by Marie Lu. She actually wrote the Legend series and the Young Elite series, which I have both read and I absolutely love it. But anyways, Warcross is about Emika, who is a hacker, and she hacks herself into the most official game of Warcross possible. Though she hacks herself into a game of Warcross, and instead of being arrested and put in jail for hacking into the game, the owner, Hideo Tananaka, ends up hiring her for a job. Hideo knows that somebody is messing with his game and creating little bugs and system tweaks, and he wants to figure out who is doing that, so he hires Emika to go in disguise as a player and figure out who's doing it so that he can stop whoever's messing with his game. But there's a lot more to the story than just finding out who the hacker is. So this book is amazing. I highly recommend you guys read it because the next installment, Wildcard, comes out September 18th. I'm so ready for this. But this book was a vibrant, action-packed shot of adrenaline, and I really recommend that you guys read it before it comes out. Ooh, my pile is getting pretty big. Okay. My last two books are by the same author. I've got A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I love both these series. She's just a phenomenal author. She's one of my favorites, as you guys can probably tell, because I've got like almost every single one of her books here. She's just amazing. I love her so much. Her characters, I'm like fangirling out right now, but her characters are truly some of my favorites. A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm just going to read off the back. When 19-year-old huntress Feyre kills a wolf in the woods, a beast-like creature arrives to demand retribution. Dragged to a treacherous magical land she knows only about from legends, Feyre discovers that her captor is not an animal, but Tamlin, one of the lethal, immortal fairies who once ruled their world. As Feyre dwells on his estate, her feelings for Tamlin transform from icy hostility into a fiery passion that burns through every lie and warning she's been told about the beautiful, dangerous world of the Fae. But an ancient, wicked shadow over the fairylands is growing, and Feyre must find a way to stop it, or doom Tamlin and his world forever. So, I just love this book. I loved hearing about the different fairy worlds. Sarah is an amazing writer. Her descriptions of her world are so vivid and vibrant, and you can definitely tell what's going on, and you can definitely imagine what the world looks like. This book is my favorite. Well, one of my favorites, because I'm a nerd. I read too many books. I have a ton of favorites. But this is a series, so I don't want to give too much about it away, but I highly recommend that you guys read it. There is so much action and drama, and it is an amazing book. I have also heard that this is supposed to be kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which it makes a little bit of sense. So it's kind of like that, but super duper different. But even if you like Beauty and the Beast or reading about books with fairies and their tricky deals and action adventure, I highly recommend this book. Highly, highly recommend it. And then the last one, Throne of Glass, also by Sarah J. Maas. So this book is about Selena Sardothien. She is an assassin, and she is in the Andover prison. Generally, people die within a month, but Selena has lasted an entire year, which is very, very impressive. Selena ends up being brought in front of the Crown Prince of Ardalan, and he has a deal for her. The deal is that she has to compete to become his father's champion, and in exchange, after working there for a couple years, she will be granted her freedom to go anywhere she wants. So Selena ends up jumping on the deal, and she goes to compete to be the champion of the king. And by champion, I really mean that she's gonna be the king's right-hand man to do all the dirty work and assassinations. Fun job, right? Very fun job. So she goes back to the kingdom to try to compete to be the champion. There are a lot of other competitors who are really tough, and she is going to try her best to become the champion and win. But while there, she discovers that there is this wicked, ancient evil looming around the castle and slowly killing off all the other competitors. So before she ends up getting killed, she tries to figure out what this ancient evil is and how she can stop it and still become the champion of the king, so that way after a couple years she can win her freedom. That's the plot of the first book. There is a whole series behind me, as you guys can tell. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, so 7 books that are currently out. The 8th book comes out October 23rd, so I highly recommend on getting started on this series before then, so that way when it comes out you guys will all be ready. And I highly recommend it. There's so much fantasy and epic adventure, there's mystery in here, there's romance, and there's so much good character development and amazing writing. Sarah J. Maas is such an awesome author, so I highly recommend reading this series. Highly recommend it. So I really hope you guys pick this one up and give it a try. Yep, so that was all my book recommendations for this month. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys found one of the books you want to check out or read, or maybe even all of them. That was all. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe down below. I put up new videos every week, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye!